All right, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily for the 7th of April, 2024. Flyers Daily presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. Flyers fall again. A seventh straight defeat, this time at the hands of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Final score in the game of 6-2. And it's not very often in my career of either broadcasting, radio, content creation, whatever you want to call this, on demand video and audio, that I'm almost at a loss for words. But I am pretty close to being at a loss for words because all the control that this team fought for all year to control the destiny of making the postseason and everything that went into it has just been undone. It's all just undone. The Flyers fall again, and let's face it, the Columbus Blue Jackets, they stink when they're healthy. They were missing a ton of players. They're about 5 deep on their goaltending depth chart, and the Flyers still can't bear down and deliver more than 2 goals, and they can't keep the puck out of their own net. Look, you're not going to win many NHL games when you give up 6, and you're not going to win many NHL games when you only score 2. 2 against Columbus. And the frustration mounts. It is mounting for me. A lot of times when the game is over and a frustrating game, I'll maybe wait a little bit to do the podcast. I didn't want to wait tonight. So I literally just wrapped up and I'm sitting here at 10:01 p.m. and I'm almost at a loss for words. The good news is that I'm not. And I have some things that I want to get off my chest. And I know you guys have a lot you want to get off your chest as well. With your thoughts, you can DM me on Twitter at Jason Mert, shoot me a tweet because, or comment below here on the YouTube channel. This is insanely frustrating to go into these games this weekend, come out with a collective 4 goals, and give up a collective, 10? Flyers outshoot Columbus in the game. Who gives a damn? 39-33. Shots mean nothing to me. Nothing to me. You can outshoot teams all you want. And the Flyers, since the trade deadline, I think I heard the stat. They've given up the least amount of shots per game, but have given up the most goals in those games. In the NHL, shots don't mean anything. Who cares about shots? So I don't even know why I gave them to you just now. Let's go through the particulars on the game, and we're going to vent. 12:08 into the first period, after the Flyers had a 4-minute power play, when Bobby Brink got high stick, drew blood, that was a minute 58 into the game. Not even 2 minutes in. They get a double minor. Does Columbus, Nick Blankenberg, Flyers go on the power play. They got a couple good chances on the power play. It's a one-timer, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Getting good chances, like shots, means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. They don't have a column in the scoreboard for good opportunities. Now, I'm pragmatic. Sometimes in a game, you can have a good power play, get a lot of chances, and it results in a goal later on in the game because you have confidence, whatever. But no goal. Flyers go through the 4 minutes, and they're unable to score. Power play has been obviously, I'm not breaking any news here, huge issue all season long. It's 32nd in the NHL. It's clicking under 13%. And when you need one, when you need a power play goal, you're taking on water in your schedule, and you get it's a gift to get a double minor called. Not that it was the wrong call, it was the right call. But early in a game they absolutely need to help you, still unable to score. Power play clicking at a lofty 12.8%. So when the Flyers don't score and Columbus kills it off, 2 things happen. First, the team that doesn't score, the Flyers, it's deflating because you just had a 4-minute power play and you're unable to score, and they're struggling to score of late. Big time struggling to score. That's the first thing that happens. And then you couple that with the opposition feeling really good because they killed off a double minor and they get a little energy from it. And then you get Eric Branson and Damon Severson scoring in the first period to make it 2-0 Columbus. So Flyers are down 2-0. Are they going to push back in the second? Columbus ended up with 14 shots in the first period. I think the Flyers got 11. But then in the second period, Damon Severson picks up his second of the game, 9th of the season, to make it 3-0. And now you're really against it. But at 14:32, Flyers get on the board. From an unlikely source, Ule Lixell, his first NHL goal. And you go, okay, now they have a little bit of life. They can battle back. We've seen them battle back from deficits multiple times this season. Problem is that the next shift at 15:20, the Columbus Blue Jackets re-extend their lead to 3 goals when Nick Blankenberg, through a seeing eye shot, is able to beat Sam Ersson high glove. And the Columbus Blue Jackets now have a 3-goal lead once again, heading into the third period. Werenski on the power play in the third period. That's the goal to make it 5-1. And what was his strength earlier this season was the penalty kill. The penalty kill that could also generate offense and leading the league in shorthanded goals. The penalty kill of late, the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, has not been a strength. They're the third-ranked penalty kill in the NHL at 83.7%. But make no mistake about it. Of late, it's been no 83.7 third-ranked penalty kill in the NHL. It hasn't been. And it's been a real issue, which is why you see a lot of these lopsided scores. So that puts Columbus up 5-1 on the Werenski goal. He scores another one, his second of the game, 9th of the season, 6-1. And then at 15:08, Adam Yinning gets the goal to make it 6-2, his first NHL goal. And there's your final score. Again, Columbus missing all kinds of guys. Jack Greaves is in goal. He's played 5 NHL games prior. Way down on the depth chart. And you skate out of Columbus with a 6-2 defeat. And you could see a lot of frustration on players. And the team right now, it looks like they're trying to empty a swimming pool with a fork. Nothing you do is going to get the water out. And they've got 4 games to go. And I don't even want to talk about turning it around to make the playoffs. This team of late, they haven't been bad. They've been hideous. Their last 5 since the gauntlet. So the 5 games that they played since the gauntlet, which ended against the New York Rangers on March 26th. Montreal, Chicago, the Islanders, Buffalo, and Columbus. Those 5 games, 0-4-1. The only game they got a point in was the Islander game on Monday. They've been outscored 23-9. 23-9. 9 goals in those 5 games. That's less than 2 goals a game. Their last 13, if you want to go back to their last 13 games, they have a record of 3-8-3. They're in the driver's seat for this playoff spot. They got a cushion at that point. That's all gone. Last 13 games, or 14 games rather, 3-8-3. 34 goals for, 2.42 average per game. Not nearly enough. And they've given up 62 goals, an average of 4.42 goals per game. They are minus 18 in their last 14 games. Minus 18. How are you going to win games and get points like that? Fact of the matter is, you're not. And the team right now can do nothing right. How do you flip the script and turn it around? I have no clue. I don't think anybody has a clue. You watch the game in Buffalo. Yeah, they had a lot of really good chances, and you go, well, yeah, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he played well, and yeah, maybe you got goalied. Yeah, no. And I don't know how you pull the nose on this aircraft up with 4 games to go when you look at what has happened in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's astounding. It's given up huge numbers. 7-0 against Tampa. You give up a 7 spot. You give up 6 against Toronto and the Bruins. You just can't survive giving up 6 goals. You give up 6 against the Rangers in that OT loss. You give up 5 to the Blackhawks, and you give up a 6th spot to Columbus. Just giving up way too many goals. It's just bananas, and you can't survive it. You can't. I mean, 2 games yesterday of huge consequence. The Flyers teams they're battling with, Pittsburgh's one of them now. Pittsburgh very well could finish ahead of the Flyers in the standings easily at this point, the way they're playing and the way the Flyers are playing. But Pittsburgh, they hang on for a win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then the Islanders last night took on Nashville, and the Islanders grabbed 2 points. So what does it mean in the standings? There's been a couple of times of late where we said, 2 things can be true. You have a missed opportunity and you dodged a bullet. And that was even maybe the case on Friday a little bit because the Flyers don't get 2 points in Buffalo. Washington ends up losing in regulation. Detroit ended up losing in regulation. But yesterday, that's not the case. Pittsburgh won. The Islanders won. Because the Flyers sit 78 points or 78 games played, 83 points. For the first time since December 3rd, they are not a playoff team. They're not in the playoffs. They have 83 points. They're tied in points with the Penguins, but the Penguins have a game in hand. And the Penguins right now are playing great. They've won 4 straight, 6-2-2 in their last 10, +5 in goal differential. Flyers all of a sudden -23 in goal differential. Flyers only 1 point up on Washington, who's also out of the playoff picture. But Washington's got 2 games in hand. And the Islanders right now grab the 3rd spot in the Metro. They have 85 points through 77 games. So they're 2 points up on the Flyers and have a game in hand. So now it's all of a sudden the math is getting really difficult. And who knows what the Flyers can even do in these final 4 games. I don't know. You want to go have confidence, or a lot of times I'm an optimistic guy. But based on their recent play, I can't be optimistic. If I sat here and said, I'm optimistic, they'll be fine on Tuesday against Montreal, they'll still get in. I'd lose all credibility. I'd look like a fool for saying that. There's no way I can sit here and do that. No way. The reality of it is they can't keep the puck out of their net. The reality of it is they can't put it in the net. Those 2 things, I'm pretty sure, combined for a bad formula to win hockey games and grab standings points. That's just the truth of it. And I don't know what's going to happen Tuesday. I don't. I still think it'd be beneficial for this team to get into the playoffs. I think there's still something to be gained, even though, I just gave you the numbers. There's still something to be gained by getting in. But at this point, that looks like a pipe dream based on what we've seen. Let me give you some other numbers. Sam Emerson this season, he got off to a rough start. The first 3 games were not good for him. He had the 5 goals he gave up against Dallas. The Anaheim game, he gave up a 7 spot. And then the Buffalo game early in the year, he gave up 2 goals, but only played a little bit in that game. But the games 4 through 20 for him, the next 17 games. He was in tandem with Carter Hart. He had to grab it for a little bit because Hart was injured, I think, for 5 or maybe 6 games. But in the next 17 games of Sam Emerson's season, he went 12-3-2, and he had a .930 save percentage and 3 shutouts. Now, why did I pick 17 games? Because the next game he got into was actually in relief. It was the Colorado game on the 20th of January. That was also the last game Carter Hart played as a member of the Flyers. So Sam Emerson in those 17 games, 12-3-2, a .930 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Since the departure of Hart, in the next 25 games, he is a record of 9-11-4 and an .874 save percentage and no shutout. The old saying is, you want to be the man, but it's hard to be the man. And it has been hard for Sam Emerson to be the man. I mean, 874 save percentage is well below league average. And he has struggled. and you can see it. You don't need no goalie expert or anything to know that Sam Erson's game is struggling. Excuse me, 9-12-4 in his 26. I didn't have the game from last night in there, the 6-2 loss. So the save percentage is probably around 869, 868 over those 26 games. It's you can see, and I know some people want to say, "Well, he's tired." He came in as the backup, but he's been asked to do a lot. He has, no doubt. I don't disagree with that. But I mean, did he plan like people that say that? Do you think he just planned to come into the season and play 26 games and his fitness was tailored to that? I think that's a bunch of BS. I think Sam needs to be better. I think Sam would tell you Sam needs to be better. And since you had the tandem of he and Hart, goaltending has not been the strength. It was a huge strength for this team. They were pushing each other for the crease. And the team structure was better. Now, there's been some attrition. Yeah, Walker's gone and Ristolainen's not there and all that. Couturier's out right now and he's not playing at the same level anyway. Those things are factors, but I'm not going to make them excuses. The fact of the matter is that since Hart's been gone, Erson's had some stretches where he's been good, but the total piece has not been good enough. And I think some people looked initially to Ivan Fedotov coming in and going, okay, he's going to save the day. I pushed back and cautioned on that quite a bit, as you know, because it's not as simple as just going, well, guy was good in the KHL. He's going to come here and just pick it right up and be good to go. It doesn't work like that. So, all said and done, goaltending since the Hart departure has been an issue. Not the only issue, but it's been an issue. Keeping the puck out of their net, been an issue. Again, they give up, some of the least numbers of shot totals in the entire NHL. They don't give up a ton of shots. And it's not about shots, it's about quality of scoring chances. When you look at the shots allowed per games played in the NHL this season, you wouldn't expect some of these sideways numbers and these big, games where you allow so many goals and a save percentage for the team, which is lowest in the NHL since the deadline. They give up the second fewest shots of any team in the NHL this season. The only team that gives up less is Carolina. Carolina gives up 25.8. Flyers give up 27.3. But the goals allowed since that Colorado game has been a major issue. It's been an issue. And I don't know where this team, what they do tomorrow on the off day, what they do on Monday before taking on Montreal on Tuesday, and then the Rangers on Thursday, then the final two home games, New Jersey on the 13th, and the Caps on the 16th. For a while there, I was saying, well, this season might come down to that game on the 16th. Right now, that would be a gift if a chance to get into the playoffs came down to that game. That would be a gift. Unbelievable. So incredibly frustrating to have so much good happen this year. And then now to be mired in this on April 7th. Oh, all right. Bill Meltzer will join us tomorrow for a Mondays with Meltzer. And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to tell you now, we're going to do an Ask Billy episode. So I'll put the tweet out. Any questions you have for Bill and I on what it is, it's an incredibly frustrating time right now. 6-2 loss to Columbus, a 4-2 loss to Buffalo this weekend. So get those questions in for Ask Billy. You can email me, jason.myrtetus@gmail.com. Shoot me a DM, tweet me, whatever you want to do. Comment below. We'll bring it all up. But where do they go from here? Like I said before, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know where they go. We'll find out in due time, and not a lot of time. But this is as frustrated as I've been this entire season. This is not a great period for the Flyers. All right. Join us tomorrow on a brand new Flyers Daily.